Okay, so it's time for a little break. I am very tired. Just got through having some lunch. Basically what I've done so far since I've arrived is I went into the convention center, picked up my swag bag, then I went down to the actual convention floor and walked the floor. Now, the floor is laid out in a grid. You do have, I believe, 2 rows in the middle and then a row on the end, and then you have cross rows as you're going down through there. When you get to the break where it intersects, you have this steady stream of people going both ways and both ways. Sometimes the best way to cross, regardless of whether you go up and down or up and down, sometimes when you get to the intersection you kind of have to fall in line and then cut back and then go across. That's kind of the easiest way to cross over, is to quickly jump in with the cross traffic, cut and go back, and then go directly to where you need to go. The hall is massive. It is a lot of walking. There's a lot of people standing in lines. The traffic, you're just bumper to bumper behind the person in front of you. You have to have a lot of patience to get through it. Now, I do not wait in line with everybody for all the different things. So the reasons people are waiting in lines. One of the reasons is that maybe there's some type of a display that you can go through. There was one in there for the Diablo game, the new Diablo game, and you would have to wait in line. The guy said roughly about 30 minutes of a wait, and then you go inside and it's an actual like hybrid between real live actors and videos to promote the video game. If you're a fan of the video game, then that's awesome. That's worth waiting in line. But if you don't play the video game, it's cool to check out, but is it really worth all that time? Because you would have to wait in line 30 minutes and then you have to wait through the actual event itself. The second reason that people wait in line is to get Comic-Con exclusives. Now, what that means is you have different brands, whether it is actual brands like Lego or Hasbro, or you have different brands like maybe the TV show Archer or The Simpsons, whatever. Comic-Con is a great place for the different brands to sell merchandise that you can only buy at Comic-Con. Some people, if they're huge fans, they will stand in line and wait for those items because they just happen to be huge fans. Some people stand in those lines and wait for the items because, unfortunately, the resale value can be very high because you can't get them anywhere else. You can only get them at Comic-Con. It can be collectibles, figurines, it can be anything. Now, usually for the different lines, they have someone standing there with a sign for the beginning of the line and somebody for the end to regulate the lines. But if you're not in line, you're gonna have to kind of go around the lines that are set up there. For the different booths that do sell the Comic-Con exclusives, they usually have a sign up that shows you what all you can purchase there. And if you are coming to Comic-Con and you kind of have done your research and you know what they will be selling, just know that the certain items could sell out. You could stand in line for 2 hours waiting to get that one thing that you really want, and by the time you get up there, it's sold out. you do have a better chance of that happening if you come on one of the later days, like on Saturday or Sunday. Like I said before, preview night is Wednesday. You're not gonna have that really on a Wednesday. Thursday is the first real day that Comic-Con opens. Then you have Friday. It's a little more crowded on Friday because it's getting towards the weekend, but Saturday and Sunday, it is insanity. You cannot move. The lines basically double. It is just shoulder to shoulder in there. I personally come on Thursdays because I can have access to everything quickly, and I can't stand standing in lines just to move forward, let alone stand in the other lines. So if you're coming down on a Saturday or Sunday, just know that it's going to be chaos. Chaos. The same is true for the train. As I've said before, the train coming down, it's best to get the business class. That way you have guaranteed seats instead of standing room only. On Sunday, when Comic-Con is over, it's been a few years since I've come on a Sunday. I think it's over maybe around 5 or 6 o'clock. Could be a little later. But when Comic-Con is over, it is a mass exodus of 100,000 people. No joke. Everyone goes to the train at the same time. Everyone goes to their cars and hits the road at the same time. I did do a Sunday and I happen to have business class. Thank goodness I did. A friend of mine did not. They were in coach and they were having to stand and hold on with people up against them for the 2-hour ride back up to Los Angeles. If you are driving from San Diego to get to, let's say, Los Angeles, normally that is about, I'd say, a 2.5-hour drive. It quickly jumps up to 7 or 8 hours easily to get there. It's ridiculous. If you're going to drive into Comic-Con, just know that coming right up to the convention center is not gonna happen. It's not. The roads are blocked off. Even the Gaslamp district, which I'll get to that in a minute, that is all blocked off. Traffic is horrible. I feel really bad for people who drive. Also, the parking is nuts. It is like $50 to park your car for the day, and it is far, far away from the convention center. So it's really not worth it. That's why I recommend taking the train down. Now, today the train was really, really packed. I mean, really packed. I think maybe it is because it's the first year since the pandemic that everyone has kind of forgotten the pandemic and not worried about getting any kind of catching anything, virus or whatever. So they're more likely to come down. Speaking of that, since you are in an enclosed space in the convention center with like 100,000 people, there is this thing called the Comic-Con funk that everyone pretty much gets when they come to Comic-Con. I don't know what it is. It's just being around so many people. You're breathing the same air. Some of that air is not that great smelling because you're outside sweating and then you go inside with all those people. But usually the week after Comic-Con, I know I personally just sort of feel like crap. Body is run down, not a cold or flu, it's just this weird funk that you get from being around so many people. It's like your body's trying to fight off something, but you don't actually full-blown get sick. It's weird, but it's like this Comic-Con funk that everyone kind of knows about. Now, there are several areas that when you come to Comic-Con, you should explore. Number one, the convention center, obviously. There's the halls upstairs that you can go and see different panels. Downstairs is the convention floor where all the different vendors are. That's the number one place you want to go. Number two is the Gaslamp District. Right out the front door of the convention center is the Gaslamp District here in San Diego. They have the streets blocked off. There is a very heavy police presence, so you will feel safe when you are here. But there's a lot of stores, tons of restaurants. The third place is behind the convention center. And I am actually behind the convention center right now. This is the Embarcadero Marina Park. It's a little bit of a walk because to get back here, you either have to go all the way to the end of the convention center down by Hall H and wrap around and then come all the way back down. Or you can go between, I believe it's the Marriott Hotel and whichever hotel is next to the Marriott. You can cut back that way and go to the other end where Hall H is at. There is a lot to see and do behind the convention center. Just know that there's like no shade, none. Now in this park, there are little patches, obviously, of shade, and it's not that busy. I mean, I'll swing the camera around and kind of show you guys. So you have the marina there, a little parking area, but there's just not a lot here because of the water. It is very cool here, and if you can find a little spot under a tree for shade, it's really nice. It's a great place to relax. There's also a little village. Let me turn the camera around again. There's also a little village like right over here, a bunch of little shops. They have souvenir shops and little restaurants, coffee shops, different options. But it's a nice area to come behind and relax for a little bit because inside the convention center there is nowhere to sit except the floor. And as you see in the videos, everybody's sitting on the floor. It's just a part of it. There's no seating at all. Outside in San Diego, again, really nowhere to sit. You just kind of have to sit on the ground. Now, as far as food options, you do have a few food options while you're here. Inside the actual convention center, they do have a Cafe Express, as they call it. It is burgers, hot dogs, nachos, simple food, sodas. They might have coffee, but I doubt it. The prices are reasonable-ish. I mean, it's inside a convention center. It's kind of almost like going to a concert and paying food prices at a concert, but not quite that bad. But there are a lot of lines, again, to get to the food. And there's really nowhere to eat the food. People are sitting on the floor eating their food. You might have a group with you. If you have a group, you can get someone to scout the tables and wait and hover over someone until they're finished eating at a table and then grab a table for everybody. But for the most part, you're going to be sitting on the ground and eating. Other than that, there are pretty much 2 or 3 other options. If you go behind the convention center, there's a lot of little street carts that they are selling like bacon wrapped hot dogs, elotes, nachos, and there's no line to get any of that food, and the food smells really, really good. Now, I know not everyone wants to just buy food from a random food cart, I don't mind, and I find the food to be very, very good. But again, nowhere to eat. You're gonna have to like sit on the ground or try to find a curb to sit on or walk with the food and try to eat that way. The other option is to go out into the Gaslamp District and eat there. Now, usually around lunchtime, between 11:30 and 2:30, it gets insane in the Gaslamp District. Everyone comes out and wants to eat at the same time. They've gone into the convention center, they've walked around for a little bit, and then they're like, you know what, I'm hungry, but I don't want to eat in here. I'll go out into San Diego. And they all go out at the same time. The restaurants that are closer to the beginning of the Gaslamp District, right outside the convention center, those you'll have lines. You'll definitely have lines. Now, if you go a little bit further, a couple more blocks into the Gaslamp District, then you do have a better chance of not having to deal with lines. I had to wait maybe 5 minutes just because the one hostess at the restaurant was having to actually walk the people to the tables and then come back. But the food is going to be overpriced. It is. They're going to take advantage of that, and rightfully so. I ended up getting the Hush Puppies, which I think was like $15, and then I got the barbecue sandwich and fries, and I think that was $19, and then I got a tea to drink, and I think that was like $4 and something. Altogether, it was like $40-something for my food for lunch, for just me. Now, I will say it was a lot of food. The Hush Puppies were really, really, really good. They were very good. Barbecue sandwich, I basically picked the sandwich up, and when I did, all the juice from the meat poured out. So much so, I just sat there holding the sandwich, waiting for it to drain out, and I look over and this woman is looking at me, and we're both laughing like, this is ridiculous. It was like a good quarter of a cup worth of barbecue juices dripping out of this sandwich. And I ended up just setting the sandwich down, taking the top piece of bread off, and just eating it with a fork. The fries I had, they were really good. And it was a big portion of food, so that kind of offset the cost, but it is expensive to eat here when you're at the Comic-Con. So I wanted to talk real briefly about the swag that you can get while you're at Comic-Con. A lot of the swag you have to sign up for. You'll be going to the different booths where the vendors are, and they'll say, hey, scan this QR code to get onto our email list, and we'll give you a button or a sticker, something like that. If you are doing that at every single booth, your inbox, because I did that the first year I came here, my inbox was crazy. I had to go through and start hitting unsubscribe on all of them. It was too much. It was ridiculous. Some of the vendors will give you just freebies to give you freebies. They'll give you a little sticker or a button. But then some of them will try to give you like a business card or a flyer, or maybe a little small, thin, couple-page comic book. If that interests you, take one. But just know that after a while, it piles up. And then when you get home and you dump all your stuff out and you look at everything you've accumulated, you realize, I got a bunch of junk today. The real swag that you can get is when you purchase something at the booth and then they'll give you like a little kickback. So for instance, at the Nanoblock booth, they had where if you purchased a Pokemon Nanoblock, they gave you a token, and then you would go around to the side, put your token in, and then they'd give you a little small freebie of Nanoblock. Or if you purchased X amount, you got extra coins and you would get a bigger gift. But again, it's, do you want to spend the money? What do you want to spend your money on to be able to get those free gifts? And people spend thousands and thousands of dollars at this event. I saw people with huge bags. I'm talking they could barely carry these bags full of collectible items, and the items are extremely expensive. Couple $100 for one item. Like a Mandalorian helmet is like $300, and then once you buy it, you have to drag this thing around with you the rest of the day. Or if you drove down, you could walk all the way back to your car to drop it off, to come back and buy more. But people do it. Some of the big items that people do buy are the collectible items like that, and they're just huge fans. They want to buy the stuff. A huge following is the Funko Pops. A lot of people collect those, and I saw so many people with just 10, 20 of them. People will get t-shirts. There's a lot of books, like booksellers in here, so people buy books. I don't want to have to carry around books all day. I did that when I was in school. I don't want to do that as an adult. But if that's your thing, do it. People, of course, buy comic books. And another one is artwork. There are a lot of illustrators that do the artwork for comic books and various like animated shows, anything that you would draw. The artists are here. Now you can commission someone to do an artwork specifically for you. But if you do, by my understanding, is you have to reach out to them either before Comic-Con or as soon as you get here, and then just know, I mean, they're creating artwork. It takes time. So if you wanted to get something while you're here, you could either request it on a Thursday and then maybe by Sunday they might have it done, or you go ahead and request it, you pay the money, and then they'll end up shipping it to you. I believe those are kind of the different ways of doing it. They will not do it for free. That, to them, that is insulting. So do not say, hey, can you just draw me something? Because they do not like that. I have found there's only one artist that will do a drawing. I believe his name is Travis Hansen. He does quick little, it takes him 2-3 minutes, he'll draw out something, and he primarily does it for the kids. His books and his artwork is geared toward children, and he does great work. I actually bought a piece from him, and in a lot of my videos that I make at home where I'm sitting there and there is a like drawing behind me that has butterflies, that was actually done by him. I went ahead and purchased it. Now, he had already done it, and then he signed off on it. He actually like autographed it, and then I paid to have it framed. But yeah, he's the only one I've ever seen that will do a quick little drawing for you, especially if you purchase something. but he primarily does it for the kids. So what I am going to do is just sit here and relax in the shade for a bit. Then I'm going to go back over to the little village here. I think they said in about 30 minutes they were going to have some kind of an event over there. And then I may head back into the convention center and do a walkthrough one more time. But my train is not supposed to leave until 9 o'clock tonight. And right now it's 2:30. But I'm pretty tired. And I kind of saw everything I wanted to see. We'll see. I'll play it by ear. But if I end up doing anything, I might get into one of the lines behind the convention center. They had one that looked pretty cool. I'll probably go back and ask how long that line takes to go through, and if it's not too long, I might actually do that one. And if I do, hopefully I'll be able to video it. But I'm going to relax for a minute and then head back to the village and maybe get some footage over there. Okay, so I am back at the train station. My train was not supposed to leave until 9 o'clock tonight, but I am very tired and kind of saw everything I wanted to see. So I came to the train station and got my ticket changed to the 5 o'clock train, which will be leaving in about 15 minutes. Wanted to do a quick video. So when you're at Comic-Con, if you have the time and the ability, with everything considered, try to donate blood. I managed to donate blood, and it goes to the San Diego Blood Bank. If you can ever donate blood, I highly suggest it. You could be saving someone's life. Now, if you do it, you can either make a time, like an actual appointment time where you don't have to wait, or you could do a walk-in. I ended up doing the walk-in, and from beginning to end, the whole process took less than an hour. So now it could be busier on other days, like on the Saturday or Sunday of Comic-Con, but it didn't take me long at all to get through the whole process. And when you do donate blood, they give you a free t-shirt. This year it was a Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 t-shirt, and you do get snacks after donating the blood, so that's a nice little perk as well. And then they also have some donated comic books and like graphic type novels, and you get to pick one of those. And then you also get to push a button to win a prize. And I pushed the button, I got the color green, and so I went back to the convention center with the ticket that they gave me, and I was able to pick out a prize. And the prize that I ended up choosing was 2 posters. The first one is a Captain America poster. The second one is Tombstone. You can't go wrong with Tombstone. So you get a free t-shirt, snacks, and a prize. There were a lot of other prizes that were really, really nice, but you had to pick based on whatever color it was that you won. But even the posters, I mean, that's a great prize. So if you can, try to donate. The donation center is located in the Hyatt. So where the convention center is, the Marriott is right next door, and the Hyatt is right next door to that. So it's a, little bit of a walk from the convention center, not too much, block or two. But you go in there and there are signs telling you where to go and donate blood. When I got on the train to head home, I got a seat on the ocean side of the train. That way I could get some good views. And I wanted to share that with you and talk about a few little tips that I haven't mentioned yet. Now, I ended up getting a business class seat to head back, and with the business class, in the morning, one of the perks is that you get free pastries and free beverages that includes bottled water, juice, and coffee. On the way back, you get a box with an assortment of snacks that are quite tasty, And you also get to pick from an assortment of beverages, and that includes one free beer or wine. And I just got bottled water because it was just terribly hot during the day. And that leads me to the tip that I haven't given to you yet. When you come to Comic-Con, you want to have some kind of a bag to store your items that you're going to need for the day. I recommend getting a backpack, and you want to make sure that you put your things in the backpack to where they won't get stolen. Things like your wallet, you want to maybe put locks on your bag, because as you're going through the convention center, as you saw, you're right next to all these people, and someone could very easily get into your bag and take your wallet. Now, I haven't had that happen, but it's always best to be safe than sorry. Now, in your bag, you will want to carry, obviously, your wallet. You might want to carry a pair of sunglasses, because you will be outside going to the convention center, leaving the convention center, and exploring the front, back, and the Gaslamp district. Also, you might want to wear a hat to try and protect your eyes and your face from the sun. It's always a good idea to put on sunscreen before you leave the house, but it's also a good idea to bring some sunscreen with you to reapply during the day. You'll also want to make sure that you stay hydrated. This could include bringing a bottle of water or bringing a water bottle and refilling it while you're in the convention center. And they do have water refilling stations. Another thing you might want to bring is a fan. And you could also bring a backup battery bank for your phone. So you're in the convention center with about 100,000 people, and everyone has their cell phone on, and everyone's trying to reach the same cell phone towers. Your phone will drain during the day. So it's a good idea to have a battery bank and the cord to be able to charge your phone, and have that just in case you need it. I hope you've enjoyed these videos of Comic-Con. If you have any questions about anything that you saw in the videos about Comic-Con, about the trains, about San Diego, feel free to leave comment below. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And I look forward to seeing everyone in the next video. Bye!